Aloha and welcome to Remote. For those of you joining us for the first time, Remote Promote is a project that was created with the intention of supporting business owners and entrepreneurs with the online communities, and that the online communities would be surprised and delighted at the talents and treasures that they find here. And today, it is my honor and pleasure to introduce to you Ike Ikokwu. And Ike, first of all, welcome Ike. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Maureen. It's a pleasure to get to hang out with you today.
Yeah, likewise. So for those of you that don't know Ike, he is a best-selling author, speaker, business growth strategist, a mindset coach, and personal finance expert. He helps purpose-driven entrepreneurs triple their leads, double their sales, and add 100K in revenue and profits in 12 months or less. That's quite an amazing feat. Working on both the inner and the outer game of success, he helps entrepreneurs subconsciously incept the minds of prospective clients to attract leads to them like bees to honey, converts them to clients, and get them to buy more. He is founder of My Limitless Living brand of companies and creator of the 3 Phases of Success programming, and will include all the ways to contact him in the chat section. Today, he's one of the most talented coaches in the business world. Having overcome many adversities himself, he has the ability to change the way we think about things, the way we feel about things, and can help us change our results like no one you've ever seen. Welcome. Wow.
Who is this guy you just introduced?
Right?
I'm like, I need to get to know him.
Definitely. Well, and I've had the pleasure of working with Ike with a program to help me with my business. So I'm doubly excited to have you here, Ike.
Yeah, really, really cool to be hanging out. Thanks for the invitation. I really appreciate it.
So in a nutshell, Ike, can you share with us what is it that you do?
That's a really, really good question. And from my coaching and training, I go, that's that question that tends to create that deer in the headlights look for most people. Like, you really want me to answer that? So how do I want to answer that? I think it's safe to say that I kind of consider myself to be a bit of a entrepreneurial dream reviver, right? So I work with what I call purpose-driven entrepreneurs. These are entrepreneurs who are in business not just for profit, but they are in business because they sense and they know that they have a larger than life purpose for what it is that they do. And so I show them how to subconsciously incept the minds of prospective clients so that they can attract the leads that they want to work with. Almost like bees to honey, convert those leads to paying clients and get them to actually buy more from them.
And what has you inspired to do this, Ike?
I think most people end up in the lane that they're in as a result of having experienced a lot of the challenges and difficulties that the people that they're called to serve are actually experiencing. So I was born with a silver spoon as an entrepreneur many, many moons ago, and I never had to do any marketing. I left the accounting and financial services world and stepped into business for myself after a very, very tough time. We actually, this was right around 9/11. So we know what happened to the stock market back then. So we took a beating, lost a lot of money, and I experienced unemployment for the first time ever in my career. And unlike most people's stints in unemployment, where it's like 1 or 2 months and you're back working again, mine lasted like 18 months. So here I am, assets depleted, no income coming in, and my portfolio of almost a dozen properties ended up going south on me because now I had tenants who couldn't pay their bill and I didn't have income coming in. So we filed bankruptcy and started all over. And it wasn't until, years later that I'd realized that part of the reason why I couldn't find a job to save my life. I mean, I'm sure if I probably offered to pay somebody to hire me, they'd have said no back then. It's because my purpose and destiny was really as an entrepreneur. And my first several years were pretty phenomenal. I mean, we went from being bankrupt in 2003 to becoming financially independent in 2008. And I literally 10x'd my income during that time period. But my first several years being in business was almost like being born as an entrepreneur with a silver spoon because I didn't have to do any marketing. I contracted myself to a couple of different organizations who did all the networking, all the marketing to place me in front of business owners who were interested in the tax and financial services and solutions that we had to offer. So I'd just show up, meet with a business owner. I could be in California one day, Texas the next day, South Carolina the day after that. But I'd spend a day with them, learn about their business and their goals and concerns, and gather a lot of information. And I'd work with a team to pull together a very comprehensive tax and financial plan. I'd come back in like a month, meet with the business owner, CPA, financial advisor, whomever his professional team was, and we'd show them how through proactive tax and financial planning, they could not only save tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars, but they could accelerate a lot of their financial goals. But all of that work, all of the benefits that I reaped from that, I didn't have to do any marketing at all. So my first, burst of success as an entrepreneur probably didn't really give me a full taste of what it's like to be in business. And so I went through seasons where it's like, okay, you don't have that working for you anymore. And I don't care how many certifications and licenses you have, your number one job is you're an independent marketer of whatever it is that you do. And so I had to learn the hard way how to do that. And so that's one of many reasons why I'm passionate about doing what I do today.
It's so great. I love your story. I love it when people rise from just, having very big challenges. So would you say what sets you apart in this industry that you're in currently?
It's a really good question. I think, having a value proposition is important. Part of my value proposition I think Geico says, give us 15 minutes and we'll save you 15% or more in car insurance. Well, I tell, prospective clients, spend an hour with me and I guarantee that I'll help you find at least $10,000 of hidden revenues and profits in your business during our time together. Oftentimes it may be 10 times or more of that. So beyond that, as sort of a lead value proposition or one of several that I have, I think the fact that I bring what I would consider to be a good blend, probably the perfect blend of both the theoretical as well as the practical in terms of building business. So, when it comes to education or certifications or theory, I think I certainly bring that to the table. But I think the fact that I've twice made seven figures and lost seven figures and had to bounce back from business betrayals and a long list of adversities, and the resiliency and the wisdom that I bring to the table from those experiences, I think is rather invaluable for the clients that I serve.
It's so great. And if you had to say your top 2 tips for business owners and entrepreneurs, what would they be?
Top 2 tips. I would say 1, be committed to personal growth, both as a leader in your home, but also as a leader in the industry that you're in. John Maxwell's, idea theory around the law of the lid certainly has a lot to say about that. I think that would be one tip. The other one I would say is to, as an entrepreneur, do your best to solve what I find to be one of the rather common reasons for the demise of most businesses. And that's the failure to overcome what I call the DDD syndrome, failing to be discovered by those who absolutely need the services that you have to offer, failing to be differentiated to where people don't just look at you as, oh, you're just a CPA or you're just an insurance person or a financial advisor. No, are you communicating what you do in a way that people don't end up at the end of a conversation going, well, so what? Or instead, do they end up going, I want to find out more. They actually are engaged and actually asking questions because you have piqued their curiosity and they're now thinking about how what you do can transform their life and solve their problems, and almost creating a buying frenzy for your services and solutions without them necessarily telling you that. So being discovered, being differentiated, and then being distinguished is the last one. And Maya Angelou put it best when she said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So that really speaks to the idea of you being a value driver in the lives of other people. How are you structuring and orchestrating your entire business such that the the summation of the experience that they have with you is one where there's just constant value being received, and that they know that you intimately care about them as a person, but also about the very problems that you're solving in their lives.
Wow, I like that. I've not heard that before. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
And lastly, Ike, what special offerings do you have at this time for the online communities?
Sure. So we're really, really excited about our 5-day challenge. We're running a 6-figure blueprint 5-day challenge. And, we've set 3 expectations for people who join our challenge. In just 5 days, we believe that we'll, 1, help you discover the mindset that is needed to really build a thriving and a fulfilling coaching business, doing exactly what it is you love to do. 2, we'll help you unlock the keys to really becoming what I call a category of one, to help you dominate the niche that you're in, and really be seen as sort of like the de facto coach for the prospective clients you want to serve. And then the 3rd item is to really be in a position to where you can unleash the exact tactics and strategies that you need to deploy to attract your ideal clients and never starve as a business owner again, right?
Wow. And so you'll have information that we can provide for everyone in the chat section. And when does this challenge start?
This challenge starts on Monday, October the 12th. We spend 3.5 hours each day from about 11 a.m. Eastern time until about 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. And you're welcome, if this feels like it could be of value and can help serve you, then you can register at thecoachanaireinstitute.com. That's TheCoachanaire, and then the word institute, INSTITUTE.com.
Perfect. And again, we'll include that in the chat section. So if you didn't capture it, we'll have it for you. Sounds fantastic. Thank you, Ike, again for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, great. For those of you who are watching today that might be interested in showcasing your business here, we would love to hear from you. Or if you know somebody, we would love to hear from you as well. And until next time, aloha.